Okay, uncovering. Pull the blanket up, across, and then bring it up just a little bit so that it forms an angle and it will stay out of your way. You must always be in control of the section, and that is especially true when you are tucking in the sheet. Bunch the sheet up, grab a hold of it in your hand right here, and jam it underneath like that. Bring this up, tuck it. She's got a bathing suit bottom on, just tuck it right in there and on the side. This exposes the entire leg. Now you can go ahead and do the massage without worrying about the sheet coming down and getting caught in your fingers. Okay, the oil that I use, I put into bottles that I've been able to get from beauty supply stores, and just pop the lid open. Put the oil in your hand. Now remember to always keep your hand in contact with their skin once you have touched their skin. Never take your hands off, because the minute you do, they want to know where you're at. Keep your hand in contact, put the oil in your hand, and rub the oil into your hand and warm it up first. Okay, get the oil spread all over. Okay, the first stroke that we do is called an effleurage. It's a long, even, flowing stroke. It gets them used to your touch, prepares you for all the other strokes to follow. Normally when you're doing the strokes, to try to keep the time down to about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes per massage, you want to be able to do each stroke between 4 and 6 times, depending on how fast you do them. Now, the lay of the hands is to put one hand at a 45-degree angle to the leg, lay the other hand on top, and just imagine that you are squeegeeing off the oil that you just put on her leg, and push the oil ahead of your hands. Before you're done with the effleurage, go all the way up, keep your right hand here, bring this hand around to the side, and massage the hip joint. The tendons, the ligaments of the leg, very important to massage. Come back down. Finish it off with another stroke or two. Now, doing a massage is like playing chess. You always want to be thinking ahead what you're going to do next. The very next stroke is called a petrissage. You turn to the side, you place your hands where you're pulling with your fingers on one side, pushing with your palm on the other in order to get as much of a turn in the muscle as possible. And then you just reverse. Go up and down the calf. And up to the thigh. When you get up to the thigh, start adding a little bit of shoulder pressure to it and start swaying with your movements. Doing a massage is kind of like a dance between you and the hands and the body. Add some pressure. You can see we're getting a lot of twist in the muscle here. Okay, be thinking about your next stroke at this point. The next stroke is going to be called a figure 8. You can naturally go right into it from this point. The right hand on the leg, your left hand laying on top at a little bit of an angle. Just lay it over top of your fingers. Again, it's like squeegeeing the oil ahead of your fingers. Ahead of your fingers. From this point, now the reason it's called a figure 8 is because you're going to go up and then your hands change and go down. So when you get to the end of each stroke, you rotate your hands. Now I'll show you how to do it by adding a little bit of body movement to it. And then, because you're going up with your hands, your stroke is going up. If you want to switch the stroke, so instead of going up on the inside, you want to go up on the outside, when you get to the top, don't switch. Just go back down. Now you see you're coming up on the outside, down on the inside. Once you learn the stroke, don't think about your hands, or you'll get confused. Then go down below to the calf. Always pushing harder, going up, and just letting your hands glide down. Now, don't switch. Go up. You're doing it reverse now. Okay, be thinking of your next stroke. The next one is going to be the kneading. So you naturally go right around to the end of the table. Start working with your thumbs. As you go with your thumbs, you should make little circles about the size of silver dollars. Work your way around the leg. Now I'm holding and supporting her leg underneath, so it gives me plenty of pressure to squeeze. Don't do too much on the back of the knee. When you get above, instead of down here where you were just using the fingertips, when you get above the knee into the thigh, use all of your finger all the way up to the bottom of your thumb, like this. Now the next stroke, just come right on back down. You do some knuckle work. Hand over hand. Make sure you go all the way from the ankle to the knee. And when you're above the knee, from the knee to the hip. Her legs get nice and warm from the circulation now. Now you get your shoulders into it. Okay, the next stroke is going to be the tapping. Come around to the side again, and this time, when you do the tapping, just like doing karate chops, but you're going to do it with your fingers spread open, so that as you do it, your fingers just kind of slap. You don't want to hit the leg too hard on the calf. Go all the way around. And when you go above the knee, close your fingers and use the side of your hand. Now you can actually go into a karate chop. Okay? Now, wipe the oil off the leg. It is extremely important to get all the oil off. And when you do it, vigorously take it off. Grab the towel in your hands and scrub. You don't want to leave any oil on your client, because if you do, a lot of times they won't say anything about it. They just won't come back if they feel that they've had a sloppy massage. And if you do a good job of scrubbing against the surface of the skin, you get some of the dead skin off. You also get the capillaries to bring moisture to the surface of the skin. Now it's nice and clean and nice and dry. Okay. The next move is to grab the ankle, bring it up vertically, move the leg, the knee, gently out to the side about an inch or so. Place your left hand on the hip and press, and bring the heel down to the tailbone. Now Lisa's very flexible, and so I can bring her heel all the way down plus. Some people, you will only be able to get their leg 3 or 4 inches from the tailbone. When you bring it back to the vertical, shake it. Make sure that she's still nice and loose and that she's not resisting you. This is a good stretch for the front of the thigh. Do about 4 of these. Okay. And lay the leg back down gently. Move the knee back in. And then finish it off with a nice gentle touch. Since you don't have any oil on now, you're going to do it very gently. It's as if you're trying to tell her, I'm now done with this leg, and it's time for the leg to just kind of lay there and relax. Just gently run your fingers. Once you've done that, now you've got the leg has been massaged, you've got all the oil off. We're going to go down to the foot. Make sure you cover the leg to keep it warm when you get down to the foot. Now we can go into the foot.